What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, and we are back with another stream here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live, or just simply join the Discord. You can do that by clicking the link at the top of the chat. Also, shout out to all of the mods. Shout out to the people over on Patreon, the members, everyone on Instagram, in Discord, on X, all of that good stuff. So today's the day where we finally talk about Mark Robinson and all of his shenanigans. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, this will not be the first time I've talked about Mark Robinson, and something tells me this won't be the last. But this was an opportunity that I knew I simply could not pass up. But before we get into all of that, let me acknowledge those who are here in the chat. We have the Tethernator. I'll be back. I like how you did that. Wallow J, Denise Scales, J the Informant, Hacksign KT, RDRD, Dewani, Derry B, Stuns, Wilson, S Wilson's 4, Eddie Foster, Tia to you, Tina Thomas, Black Spider, Don P, Tawana, Kels 517. Dabby, Irvin Green, and that is it so far. But Ricardo Flat as well. But shout out to everybody that is in here. And I see that Wilson's 4, you said you put down NC, so I know you got to deal with this firsthand because he is unfortunately a representative of your state. So I can only imagine. And from what I've heard from everybody, and I always like to do this as a joke because I already know how people are going to feel about him. If it's anybody that I know who lives in North Carolina, I'll always ask them, how's Mark Robinson doing? Or how do you feel about Mark Robinson? And everybody pretty much gives me the same exact response. And it's one of just dread. They be like, they can't stand him, so on and so forth. But like I said before, I've talked about this man in the past. I can honestly say he's one of those people that I can't say one good thing about him. I can't. There's nothing really. He has no redeeming qualities either, might I add. None whatsoever. But this right here is probably going to end, or at least it should end, his political career. So unless you've been living under a rock these last few days, some stuff about Mark Robinson, and when I say some stuff, I mean some stuff about Mark Robinson has been revealed upon us through the media, and it's been quite a bit. As a matter of fact, the first few articles that I'm going to go over, all of them came out on the same day, which was September 19th, which was the day that all of this stuff happened. Now, what's crazy is the way I started to learn about it was when I was on X and I saw his name trending #1 on X. I didn't know why he was trending, but I knew it couldn't be good because it's Mark Robinson. My first thought was, oh, did he drop out of the race to become governor of North Carolina? But alas, that wasn't it. But when I saw him trending, this was hours before this information was coming out. But people were turning it almost into an event, like it was a buildup where they were saying, oh, at this particular time, there's some stuff that's going to be put out there about Mark Robinson. And I'm like, okay, what stuff are they talking about? I said, it can't be good, but you know what? If it isn't, I'm willing to find out. And well, let's just say I and everyone else who found out what it was, we got way more than what we bargained for. Because, man, oh my God, we learned quite a bit of things that we wish we hadn't. But since we are here, why not indulge? So let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's go ahead and get into this. So the first article that I'm going to be going from is on USA Today. And it was posted on September 19th. It says, "Who is Mark Robinson? North Carolina governor candidate denies racist remarks report." North Carolina Lieutenant Governor and Republican gubernatorial nominee Mark Robinson allegedly made racist and lewd comments on the message boards of an adult website prior to his entry into politics. Robinson, a Donald Trump endorsed right-wing candidate, was reported by CNN's Andrew Kaczynski and M. Steck to have called himself a black Nazi, supported the reinstatement of slavery, and that he preferred the leadership of Nazi leader Adolf Hitler over then President Barack Obama in 2012, amongst other racially charged statements. Just off of reading that alone, this man has already planted himself as getting the Clayton Bigsby Award. The candidate who was made, I guess that they were supposed to say who has made anti-transgender sentiment a cornerstone of his campaign, reportedly made comments that said he enjoyed transgender adult activity and recounted a story of him peeping into a women's gym shower as a teenager. So this guy was a degenerate even as a kid. The Robinson campaign denied that the postings were from the lieutenant governor in a Facebook video and statement to USA Today that blamed the story on his Democratic opponent, North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein. The campaign did not make the candidate available for interview to USA Today. Who is Mark Robinson? The 56-year-old lieutenant governor of North Carolina previously worked in the furniture manufacturing at his wife's nonprofit Balanced Nutrition Incorporated, and he also served in the U.S. Army Reserve. And speaking of his wife, she's no better because that woman, I believe that she was caught up in some fraudulent stuff too with some money. It says, what offices has he previously held? None, and the way things is going, he won't hold any office after this. It says Robinson wants to raise teacher pay, but he is also a strong supporter of school choice and taxpayer-funded private school vouchers. He believes some public schools are indoctrinating students, as seen from his task force as lieutenant governor called FACTS, which stands for Fairness and Accountability in the Classroom for Teachers and Students. Robinson also stands firm in his gun rights stance, a topic that propelled him into the spotlight after he gave a passionate speech at a Greensboro City Council meeting about Second Amendment rights. His policy plans for abortion access have muddied throughout the campaign. He initially called for a 6-week abortion ban that he later backstepped on. Most recently, NBC News reported that he hopes to continue restricting abortion if elected. He also wants to lower taxes for North Carolinians, better support veterans, and increase public safety. Robinson has implied that he would support a total abortion ban, saying, oh, hold on, y'all. Lost the page. All right, now I got to scroll back down and get back to where I was. Robinson has implied that he would support a total abortion ban, saying there is no compromise on abortion. We need to stand up and declare that life begins in the womb. Life does not begin when Roy Cooper says it begins, Robinson told a congregation at Winkler's Grove Baptist Church in Hickory, North Carolina, during his 2020 campaign for lieutenant governor. The candidate has walked back statements during his time as lieutenant governor. His campaign has said Robinson will support a ban after a fetal heartbeat is detected, often 6 weeks, with exceptions for extreme situations such as violations. That right there that you see on your screen, this word, or danger to the life of the mother. Before announcing his run for governor, Robinson confirmed after an old Facebook post of his resurfaced that in 1989 he paid for his then girlfriend and now wife to have an abortion. Wow. Now that's very interesting right there. It was the hardest decision we have ever made. Sadly, we made the wrong one, Robinson said, appearing beside his wife, Yolanda Hill, in a video posted to social media in March 2022. Is because of this experience and our spiritual journey that we are adamantly pro-life. The current lieutenant governor has gained the backing of presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. The nonprofit his wife runs, called Balanced Nutrition Inc., has also come under fire for owing the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services thousands of dollars for failing to comply with several program rules. And I'm guessing that's where the fraudulent stuff comes in. So this right here, it touches a little bit on, what he's dealing with right now and gives a backstory. But trust and believe, everything else after this goes into very interesting detail about what this guy's been up to that got put out there. And shout out to the 195 people that is right here, that is now in the chat. Make sure if you haven't done so already to please hit that like button, hit that share button. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button too if you're lurking. All right, so let's go to this next article right here. And this one's coming from a CNN, posted again on September 19, 2024. It starts off saying, it says, his quote, "I'm a black Nazi." North Carolina GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on a adult forum. Mark Robinson, the controversial and socially conservative Republican nominee for governor of North Carolina, made a series of inflammatory comments on an adult website message board more than a decade ago, in which he referred to himself as a black Nazi and expressed support for reinstating slavery, a CNN K-file investigation found. This guy said he expressed support for reinstating slavery, something that he, if it was to happen, would fall under. Despite a recent history of anti-transgender rhetoric, Robinson said he enjoyed watching transgendered adult content, a review of archived messages found in which he also referred to himself as a perv. At least he knows who he is. I'm just saying, at least he knows who he is. The comments, which Robinson denies making, predate his entry into politics and current stint as North Carolina's lieutenant governor. They were made under a username that CNN was able to identify as Robinson by matching a litany of biographical details and a shared email address between the two. Many of Robinson's comments were gratuitously sexual and lewd in nature. They were made between 2008 and 2012 on New to Africa, an adult website that includes a message board. The comments were made under the username Mini Soldier, a moniker Robinson used frequently online. Robinson listed his full name on his profile for New to Africa, as well as an email address he used on numerous websites across the internet for decades. CNN is reporting only a small portion of Robinson's comments on the website, given their graphic nature. So here is let me see if I can open it up in a new tab so y'all can see it. So here it is right here. So here's a screenshot of various sites over the years in which Mark Robinson used that username of Mini Soldier on websites. So right here, he had it on Twitter. He had it over here. This looks like Pinterest. Over here, it looks like some kind of Black Planet. Whoop, Black Planet. Now, what I find to be very interesting, it says member since January 28, 2008. Who was using Black Planet in 2008? Black Planet was already pretty much, I don't know how you want to put it, was pretty much a fossil at that point, but okay. He has it over here, Mini Soldier. This is it says a playlist shuffle, so it looks like his iPhone, like an Apple playlist. And over here, I'm not exactly sure what website he was using for this. Now, he can sit up here and say that this is not his username, but if you look at each and every last one of these and look at these dates, his picture is next to that username. And sometimes, in this case, his whole name is next to the username. So there you go. All right, let's get back to this. Many of Robinson's comments on New Africa stand in contrast to his public stances on issues such as abortion and transgender rights. Publicly, Robinson has fiercely argued that people should use bathrooms only that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. He also said that transgender women should be arrested for using women's restrooms. If you're a man on Friday night and all of a sudden Saturday you feel like a woman and you want to go into the women's bathroom in the mall, you will be arrested or whatever we got to do to you. Robinson said at a campaign rally in February 2024, we're going to protect our women. Yet privately, under the username Mini Soldier on that same site, Robinson graphically described his own sexual arousal as an adult from the memory of secretly peeping on women in public gym showers at the age of 14. Robinson recounted the story as a memory he said he still fantasized about. So he still fantasizes about something he did as a 14-year-old as a grown man. He says, I came to a spot that was a dead end, but had two big vent covers over it. It just so happened it overlooked the showers. I sat there for about an hour and watched as several girls came in and showered, and he wrote that on that site. CNN is not publishing the clearly they wouldn't post it. He says, I went peeping again the next morning, but after that I went back to the ladder. I went back and the ladder was locked. So those two times where the only times I got to do it are memories. In other comments on the site, Robinson discussed his affinity for haughty adult content. I like watching tranny on girl material. That's effing hot. It takes the man out while leaving the man in, Robinson wrote. And yeah, I'm a perv too. If this was what they was allowed to put on CNN, I'm almost curious of what they could not put up on this site. It's scary to think what they could not put up here if comments like that was able to be posted on CNN. This is not us. These are not our words. And this is not anything that is characteristic of me, Robinson said, presented with the litany of evidence connecting him with the Mini Soldier username used on the site. I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured these salacious tabloid lies. CNN first reached out to Robinson Tuesday morning with evidence connecting him to the comments on the site. It took his campaign 2 days to respond and issue a denial. During his interview with CNN, Robinson repeatedly said the issues that faced North Carolinians were more important than what he called tabloid trash, and he steered the conversation toward attacking his opponent in the race, Democrat Josh Stein, the state's attorney general. We are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race. Trust me when I tell you there's not that many people counting on you. I got a question for y'all in the chat. Well, those of y'all who live in North Carolina, are y'all counting on Mark Robinson to win this race? Do y'all need him? Do y'all really need him? Put a 1 in the chat if you need him. Put a 2 if you don't. Campaigning for lieutenant governor in 2020, Robinson advocated for a complete abortion ban without exceptions. He later expressed regret in 2022 for paying for his now wife to have an abortion in the 80s, which we already went over. Now campaigning for governor, he says he supports a so-called heartbeat bill that would ban abortion when a heartbeat is detected, approximately 6 weeks, with exceptions for violations, other type of relations, and health of the mother. But writing as Mini Soldier on this website in December 2010, Robinson said he did not care about a celebrity having an abortion. I don't care. I just want to see the sex tape. In another thread, commenters considered whether to believe the story of a woman who says she was violated by her taxi driver while intoxicated. In response, Robinson wrote, and I quote, "In the moral of the story, don't F a white B." Robinson, who would become North Carolina's first black governor if elected, also repeatedly maligned civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., attacking him in such intense terms that a user accused him of being a white supremacist. Get that effing commie bastard off the National Mall, Robinson wrote about the dedication of the memorial to King in Washington, D.C. by then President Barack Obama. I'm not in the KKK. They don't let blacks join. If I was in the KKK, I would have called him Martin Lucifer Coon. CNN's reporting on Robinson's comments comes a few weeks after the Assembly of North Carolina digital publication reported that Robinson frequented a local video adult shop in the 1990s and the 2000s. The story cited 6 people who interacted and saw him frequent the stores in Greensboro. A spokesperson for Robinson called the story false and incomplete fiction. Despite earning the full endorsement of former President Donald Trump in the North Carolina Republican Party, Robinson faces an uphill battle in the race for governor against Stein. Robinson's history of controversial remarks include mocking school shooting survivors, his past support for total abortion bans without exceptions for violations, and disparaging the civil rights movement have been consistent theme in the race. Recent public polling shows Robinson is losing to Stein. On the website, in both comments and his profile, Mini Soldier offered numerous details that align precisely with Robinson's personal history. In his profile, Mini Soldier listed his full name as Mark Robinson and disclosed a private email address Robinson used elsewhere online. In 2012, a user responded to a comment by calling Mini Soldier Mark. Mini Soldier mentioned in 2008 being married for 18 years, which he corresponds with Robinson's marriage to Yolanda Hill in 1990. In 2011, Mini Soldier wrote he had been married 21 years. He also wrote in a 2011 post that he lived in Greensboro, the same town when Robinson lived at the time and currently lives. So I'm going to pull up this screenshot right here. So there's basically saying they said, let's do a timeline of this thing here. So we can say for certain that this person who goes by the name of Mini Soldier is indeed Mark Robinson. So they link all of the stuff and everything links right back to him. So no matter how many times he keeps trying to say, oh, it wasn't me. Oh, it wasn't me. People are making stuff up. They have it. It's you. Brother Man says, does Robinson have any children? I don't know if he has any children now, but apparently based on what we're reading, him and his wife had got, well, before, I don't think they were married yet. Back in the like late 80s or early 90s, she had got pregnant, but then he made her get an abortion. You know, that kind of reminds me of Larry Elder a little bit. But you know what? When you think about people like Larry, not our elder, and Mark Robinson's mindset, maybe it's good they don't have a seed walking around out here out of fear that they would get indoctrinated by their dads to keep this thing going. Oh, Wallow J said he has 2. Oh, I feel bad for them. I got to be honest with you. So this is it right here. Like you said, it says right here, Thursday, April 14, 2011. He says, I'm in Greensboro. 56-year-old male, Greensboro. He's in Greensboro. Mini Soldier, 56, male. And all of the dates add up, even down to his birth year, August 18th, 1968. Married 21 years. And here he is right here, May 5th, 1990. So the years, all of it adds up. So there you go. In a post in 2012, Mini Soldier said he served in the Army in the 1980s during the same time period as Robinson. In his sexually graphic comments detailing watching women in the showers in 2011, which would definitely age him way higher than 14, Mini Soldier wrote that his mother worked at a historically black college and university or an HBCU. Robinson's mother worked as a custodian at North Carolina A&T, a HBCU located in Greensboro. And see, the thing is, this is where he messed up, because he consistently used that Mini Soldier username on every platform that he was on. He never changed the name. He never added a number. You know how some people will add a number, usually it's like a birth year or something like that. He never added a number. It was always the same when it was written out the same way on every platform. That's why he left a digital paper trail. See, if he used different usernames on the various sites, it would be kind of harder for them to trace it. But because he used Mini Soldier on every social platform that he had. That's why it was easy to gather all of this, and it was so easy. Both Mini Soldier and Robinson often posted about the same topics online, including reviews for remote-controlled helicopters, their attraction to specific celebrities, and their favorite Twilight Zone episodes. The email address associated with Mini Soldier on the website was also used by Robinson elsewhere online and social media. On the commenting platform Discuss, a user who joined in April 2011 features Mark Robinson's photo under the username Mini Soldier. Usernames and email addresses from Discuss were publicly leaked online in 2017, according to the company. CNN confirmed that Robinson's username Mini Soldier on Discuss shared the same email address as the one used on the website. So even with that, not only did this man use the same username on every platform he was on, but he used the same email address on every single platform. So that made it even, again, easier for them to find all of these screenshots. Robinson's Discuss page is also linked to the Black social networking site Black Planet. The web archive shows a username Mini Soldier described themselves as 40 years old in February 2009, the same age as Robinson at the time, and living in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is Robinson's hometown. Robinson has frequently used the name Mini Soldier elsewhere on the internet. On X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, Robinson once used the Mini Soldier username, according to a screenshot he shared on Facebook in 2018 in data in Robinson's old tweets. A YouTube playlist for a user named Mini Soldier features exclusive videos of Robinson. On Pinterest, a user, Mini Soldier, lists his name as Mark Robinson. The Mini Soldier username has also posted reviews of products in places Robinson has also publicly recommended. On Amazon, a user named Mini Soldier reviewed products frequently shared by Robinson. On Facebook, including remote-controlled helicopters, and the same email address and username used on the adult website. Also left reviews on Google. For 2 local businesses, Robinson later posted on Facebook that he used. Robinson's unique choice of language further links him to the Mini Soldier alias on the adult site forum. Uncommon phrases such as, I don't even want to say what it says on here. I'm not even going to repeat what they wrote right there. That just sounds crazy. So I'm going to open up these other set of screenshots right here. So this is from that website, as you can see right here. So if you this guy is oh man, this guy's not smart. Now look at this, y'all. Let me zoom in a little bit. Look at this, y'all. Okay, so this right here is from that oh, hold on. This is from that website. Look at what he says over here. I don't give a frog's fat ass where that vid came from. Then if you look over here, and this is April 25th, 2011. If you look over here on December 3rd, 2014, it says, note to the news media, I don't give a frog's fat ass about Bill Cosby, Mike Brown's mama's baby daddy, Ray Rice, or that heifer who talks smack about Obama's kids. Now, he used the same exact term phrasing right here that he did over here on that adult site. Then he used it again a few years later. I really don't give a frog's fat behind who Serena Williams married. Again, he didn't say ass right here. He said behind, but you know, it's the same thing. Over here, let's scroll down. He's on the same adult site, December 30th, 2011. I don't give 2 shakes of my black A about the Mexicans kicking the ish out of them turkeys. Just, you see it. But then over here on August 17, 2016, he says, Dear Bob Costas, we don't give 2 shakes. Blah, 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 blah. Let's keep scrolling. Again, same adult site. Gaga that. Then over here on Facebook needs to do something about these whore profiles. Craigslist ousted them. Facebook can do it too. And he put the same thing here as he did here, April 22nd, 2017. And then at the end, he says this, and then he says it again over here in 2 different years. But still, this man wants to tell people that he was not on this site. But they were able to pull up not only your screenshots of you being on the site with that mini soldier username that was linked to the same email, but you used the same terminology years later on Facebook. And that's how they was able to connect the dots, because you were the only one saying that. Y'all, this is just too good. We have 290 people in here, and we are only a half an hour in, and I got so much more to go. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And if you're lurking, but you like what you see over here, hit that subscribe button. We be doing videos and lives like this all the time. We are consistent over here. Let's continue. We getting a lot out of this one article. I'm just saying. Robinson as mini soldier. Slavery is not bad. In the adult forums, Robinson revealed his unvarnished thoughts on issues such as race, gender, and abortion. Writing in a forum discussing Black Republicans in October 2010, Robinson stated unprovoked that he was a Black Nazi. That same month, Robinson wrote in another post that he supported the return of slavery. Slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring it, as in slavery, back. I would certainly buy a few. In March 2012, Robinson wrote that he preferred the former leader of Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, over the leadership in Washington during the administration of Barack Obama. He said, I take Hitler over any of the issues going on in Washington right now. Now, you got to think to yourself, why is he on this adult website writing this stuff? This sounds like stuff that should be on like 4chan or Stormfront or Storm Runner, or, you know, those Dub S type of sites. Why are you going on to a site like that, which we know why those sites are there for, and putting this up there? He must have not knew where he was. Robinson's comments on the website often frequently contain derogatory and racial slurs directed at Black, Jewish, and Muslim people. In a series of 7 posts in October 2011, Robinson disparaged Martin Luther King in such intense terms, calling him a commie bastard, worse than a maggot, a whole effing phony, and a huckster, that a user in the thread accused him of being in the Klan. That's crazy. The terminology that he was using, somebody who did not see his face thought this man was a member of the Klan just based on stuff he was typing up on this site, not realizing it was a whole Black man writing it. And I'm gonna get at the super chats when I'm finished reading this article. In October 2010, Robinson used the anti-Semitic slur, and I'm not going to say it, when discussing how he liked the show Good Times, developed by Norman Lear, saying the show itself was a bunch of written liberal BS. While discussing the Taliban, he referred to Muslims as little, my goodness, and said that if Muslims took over, liberals would be the. I can't even read. I can't even bring myself to read some of this stuff. He said Robinson also used the homophobic slurs frequently, calling, and I can't read that, in a largely positive forum discussing, featuring a photo of 2 men kissing after one returned from a military deployment. Robinson says something else, and I'm not going to read that. Man, that's the end of the article. My God. But let me go ahead and get to these super chats. Shout out to Wallow J for being a member for 6 months. He said Mark Robinson is a freaky ass. I can't see the little symbols behind it, but I can only imagine. Shout out to you. And also shout out to Just Ask Shar. I've got questions for the $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate that as well. Let me go ahead and get the drop for y'all. Well, okay, I got to take a breather right quick, y'all. How are y'all feeling right now? That was a lot. That was a lot. This was from CNN via K-File. I know that was a lot of information right there. That was that was crazy. I was not expecting to read all of that. I know many of y'all wasn't expecting to hear that either. Yeah, Miss Nisi, she threw up the vomit emoji. Anthony threw up the sick emoji. Yeah, it's not looking too good for this dude, but you know what? He bought it on himself. Black Spider said, "Game over." Yep. Shamika said, "That's right. Myron is having issues with white." Yeah, now that's another person right there. Like I said, I had to take a break off of talking about him because that man caused so many L's this year. It's absolutely insane. He's literally a, excuse me, he's literally a walking L himself. So now we're going to move on to this article right here from Newsweek. And it says everything Donald Trump has said about North Carolina's Mark Robinson. Now, we know one of the things that he said was that Mark Robinson was like the second coming of Dr. King, which is absolutely ridiculous. But let's see what he said. Former President Donald Trump has yet to speak publicly following CNN's explosive report on Trump's endorsee for North Carolina's gubernatorial race, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, which resurfaced comments the Republican nominee made on an adult website over a decade ago. And the thing is, with the stuff that we know about 45 and the stuff that he said, him and Mark Robinson would probably be BFFs. The report on Thursday claims that Robinson posted messages on the adult website Nude Africa from 2008 to 2012, years before Robinson was elected lieutenant governor in 2022. The disturbing messages linked to Robinson, who was black, include the conservative reportedly describing himself as a black Nazi and more graphic comments regarding sexuality. Robinson, the GOP nominee for North Carolina's gubernatorial race in the fall, has faced pressure from within his own party to drop out of the election by the end of day on Thursday. The first batch of absentee ballots are set to be mailed out on Friday. He should just go ahead and drop out and save himself the embarrassment. I say this because if he just drops out now, then you know it is what it is. You just left, but people already know why you left. But if you carry on, like I think he is, all the way to November 5th, just go ahead and get embarrassed on the grand stage in front of the world, in front of your state, more, and have it happen that way. But either way, he's not becoming governor. It's no way this dude gonna become governor. He can have all the supporters he wants, but that don't mean a thing. And remember, allegedly CJ Pearson had all these supporters when he was trying to run for his seat or whatever it was down there in Georgia. And when they had to do that runoff, where was all his supporters then? Oh, that's right. They didn't support him. He lost by 20% and then tried to demand a recount. Trump, the GOP nominee for president, endorsed Robinson for governor in March ahead of North Carolina's primary election. At the time, the former president compared Robinson to civil rights leader, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., telling supporters at a rally in Greensboro that Robinson is Martin Luther King on steroids. Sure. He says, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. Trump added, I think you are Martin Luther King times two. In what area? KG said it was 35%. Oh, well, I'm glad you said that. I don't want to shortchange it. I want to make sure that how much he lost by is how much he lost by. So I shortchanged myself. So you said it was like 35%, even better. Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign shared videos to his formerly Twitter account Thursday afternoon on Trump praising Robinson at several campaign events, including one clip in which Trump describes the candidate as a quote-unquote star before a group of donors. We have to cherish Mark. He's like a fine wine, probably that was switched around in an old boot. He's an outstanding person. Now, I just want y'all to understand this, y'all. This guy, 45, is praising this dude who, mind you, we just read a whole article, went through so many screenshots of this man's degenerate behavior. And he says this guy is Martin Luther King on steroids, or that he's better than Dr. King. But keep in mind what Mark Robinson said about Dr. King himself. The Trump. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Trump, shout out to KG on that video that he did on 45 today. If y'all haven't had a chance to go check that out, make sure y'all go do that. But after my live, though, I just had to throw that in there. The Trump campaign was said to be among GOP leaders who are urging Robinson to drop out of the race, but the lieutenant governor has resisted such calls. In a video message released to his social media accounts on Thursday, minutes before CNN's story was published, Robinson denied that he was behind the post included in the report and called it tabloid trash. The things you see in that story are not my words. You know my words, my character, and I've been completely transparent in this campaign. Newsweek has reached out to Trump's campaign via email for further comment on Thursday. So there's that. I got a question for y'all in the chat. Who remembers that Ashley Madison scandal? Let me know in the chat. Who remembers the Ashley Madison scandal? Wallow J said that he remembers it. Bert says he remembers it. Wilson's CCS, Inside the Nation, and Black Knight. Cool. So many of y'all remember it, but okay, Tina said she said remember vaguely. Okay. So Ashley Madison was this adult website. And it happened a few years ago. It was definitely pre 2020. I do know that. It was probably about over 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. But anyway, it's an adult website. And basically what happened is it got exposed that a lot of, I guess you can say, politicians and elite people were on that website. Like a lot of them. And guess who one of the people was that was on that site? Mini Soldier. So not only was Mark Robinson tied to that other website, he was attached to Ashley Madison as well. Because according to Politico, it says email address belonging to Mark Robinson was found on Ashley Madison. So he made his rounds. Kid Gravity said 2016. It feels so much longer than that for some reason. It feels longer than that. It says an advisor to the North Carolina Republican confirmed the email address belongs to him. An email address belonging to North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson registered on Ashley Madison on a website designed for married people seeking affairs. So basically, when you think about it, it was like a swing site. An advisor to Robinson granted anonymity to speak freely, confirmed to Politico that the email address in question belongs to Robinson. A spokesperson for Robinson said he had not made an account on Ashley Madison. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson denies that he ever created or used an account on this website. Robinson's campaign also pointed to a website showing the email address in question has been compromised in multiple data breaches. The discovery of Robinson's personal email address on Ashley Madison came as Republicans in North Carolina on Thursday cringed after CNN uncovered old posts reportedly made by Robinson on online forums. And see, the thing is, because all of that stuff got exposed, remember what I said. The email address would be the same, and he probably used the same username. So all they would have to do is look on all these adult-based sites for his email address and that username. But at least if they didn't have the username, they had the email address, which he always used. On Thursday afternoon, CNN reported that Robinson, who former President Donald Trump endorsed, had once posted comments on an adult site called Nude Africa, listing on the website his full name and an email address he has been known to use for years, the same one that Politico was found registered on Ashley Madison. So again, same email, same username. It is two people familiar with the situation granted anonymity to speak about the sensitive issue to Politico. The Trump campaign has not pressured Robinson to drop out of the race or to skip Trump's rallies in the state, despite a news report saying otherwise. Put a pin in that. Trump is scheduled to hold a rally Saturday in Wilmington, North Carolina. Robinson last appeared with Trump when he made his way on stage during an August 21st rally in Asheboro, North Carolina, when Trump called up local sheriffs. Trump had not asked Robinson to come on stage, so he just waddled his way up there. And I'm telling you, this guy's getting the Clayton Bigsby Award. This guy's probably getting the Clayton Bigsby Award. Shout out to the 352 people in the chat. I'm glad that you are here. And also shout out to Panther Strike for the $5.95. He said, Brother Torian and fam, this man has been handled by white men, but has been passed around, obviously. Why so passionate at being a tap dancer? I don't know. I have no clue. When you find out, you let me know.
You ain't got to be a dope boy to have money.
All right, let's move on to this next article. This one's coming from Rolling Stone. It says J.D. Vance, the habitual liar. We talked about him last week. It says J.D. Vance, other Republicans refuse to disavow self-proclaimed black Nazi Mark Robinson. Let's see what he's talking about. Senator J.D. Vance, Lindsey Graham, and Tom Cotton all refused to disavow North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson following reporting by CNN that uncovered comments he made online calling himself a black Nazi and supporting reinstating slavery before entering politics. When asked about Robinson's inflammatory post, GOP vice presidential nominee Vance equivocated. He says, I do not believe him. I don't believe him. I just think that you have to let these things sometimes play out in the court of public opinion. He said Saturday, this coming from the same guy that said that he had to put out this narrative about Haitians, immigrants or Haitian Americans eating dogs and cats. So I'm not surprised that that's what J.D. Vance is, coming out to support him. Cotton also declined to disavow Robinson, telling CNN's Jake Tapper on Sunday, there are concerning allegations. He owes the people of North Carolina more answers about it. I'll leave it to the people of North Carolina. See how they say they're not going to disavow him, meaning they're not going to condemn him or they're not going to hold his feet to the fire about what he said. That means, in my opinion, they're fine with what he said. On NBC Meet the Press, Graham said that Robinson deserves a chance to defend himself. The charges are beyond unnerving. If they are true, he's unfit to serve for office. If they're not true, he has the best lawsuit in the history of the country for libel. And I'm glad that Lindsey Graham said that last part, because I was actually going to bring that up. But since he said that, this is what I'd like to know. So I've gone through several articles so far. We still got a couple more to go. Why hasn't Mark Robinson as of yet come out and say, I'm going to sue for defamation? Because none of what they're saying is true. All he said so far is that don't believe it. It's probably tampered with. But he hasn't said, I'm going to sue them for defamation of character. One will actually say or believe that, okay, if you're not going to try to defend your name against what you say is not true, then people are going to believe that it is true. Robinson, the Trump-endorsed Republican nominee for governor in his state, made the comments on the message board. Well, we already said that. Online, he praised Hitler's books Mein Kampf and said that Hitler would have been better than Barack Obama. It says, if you've been paying attention to Robinson, his fondness for Nazis might not be all that surprising. He has frequently denied the Holocaust, and he quoted Hitler in a Facebook post that said pride in one's own race is also a normal and healthy sentiment. He also says, I am so sick of seeing and hearing people still talk about Nazis and Hitlers and how evil and manipulative they were. He said, newsflash, people, the Nazis, he says, National Socialists are gone. We did away with them. These are quotes that come directly from him. So if people want to believe that he didn't say any of these things, where did they pull all these quotes from? Notice he's not denying that he said any of this stuff either. And the stuff that he's doing right now is the same thing that Admiral Foodle, y'all call him Myron Gaines, that's what he's being that's what he's getting. He's under scrutiny now for. And shout out again to KG for that live that he did. Exactly, NC Lady. He said this. This stuff is not just being pulled out from thin air. He said everything that's being reported, he said. We've even heard him say it, like at speaking engagements and all types of stuff. If you don't believe me, just go look it up. You can find it. Google is your friend. Panther Strike said, does he have children? Yes. Wallow J said that he has 2 children. That I did not know. But then again, I'm not all in his personal life like that. Well, his personal life has now been spilled out to us. Wilson's Force said he was on TV saying it's AI. AI, Mark, if you said that, you're going to have to come more correct. you nice try. Nice try. Well, in some very interesting news coming out of Chicago and Mark Robinson, according to the Chicago.suntimes.com, North Carolina GOP governor candidate Mark Robinson drops Chicago area fundraiser after vow posts surface. It said he was booked for a September 29th fundraiser in Kenilworth, and Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina is in the spotlight because of repugnant posts. Basically, he was supposed to go speak at this event, and now because of that, he's no longer speaking there. Johnny, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. That's actually going to be my live tomorrow. Not just that part, but the whole situation as a whole. Mark Robinson, the radioactive GOP North Carolina gubernatorial candidate, in the spotlight because of repugnant posts on that website, is no longer coming to a North Shore Chicago suburb for a Republican fundraiser on September 29th. And understand this, when this stuff starts happening, when you start getting like disinvited to events, or in his case, he probably disinvited himself because of everything that's going on, that hurts your campaign. Especially when you're in crunch time with the campaign, because the election is like 40 some days away. We are literally in the birdcage. We are like in the eye of the storm right now. We are literally in like the last full week of September. August. October will be here the week next week. Then we'll be a month away. Then a couple of weeks away, then a week away, then a couple of days, and then a day away, and then the election will be here. It says Robinson, the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, a key presidential battleground state, scrubbed the Kenilworth visit, according to a post on the website of the 10th Congressional District Republican Organization. On Saturday, the group's website was no longer promoting Robinson's event. Instead, on the organization's coming events page, there was this message: welcome, our earlier speaker canceled, but we have secured a great Trump ally for this event. That was quick. They was like, well, we don't need you, but we found a replacement, and we found someone better than you, someone we can actually call great. The Republican officials organized the event. Mark Shaw, an Illinois Republican Republican Party State Central Committeeman for the 10th Congressional District and chairman for the 10th Congressional District Republican Organization, and Julie Cho, New Trier Township Republican Committeeman, declined to respond to questions on Friday and Sunday. In my column posted Friday, I reported the fundraiser in Kenilworth was still on despite the CNN bombshell report that more than a decade ago on his website that he called himself a black Nazi and wanted slavery reinstated. Now, peep this. They said that the fundraiser was still happening even after the stuff he talked about calling himself a black Nazi and wanting slavery reinstated. So it begs the question, what in all of the stuff that got revealed about Mark Robinson took it for you to remove him from the program if it wasn't for the slavery reinstated part and him calling himself a black Nazi? Even before the CNN story, Robinson's views were out there on all social media posts, including his Holocaust denial. It says Robinson got a big boost from being endorsed by President Donald Trump. And see, the thing is, when he got that endorsement by 45, that's when he ramped it up. His head got bigger than what it already is. His head got basically the size of his gut. Robinson got this far even before the CNN report, with no Republicans condemning him for a history of vile remarks, and that's a stain on them. It's testimony to the fear of GOP officials who should have known better of crossing Trump or enraging his MAGA base. Robinson denied he authored the offensive post, yada, yada, yada. Excuse me. It says if you look at what he said on the post, it was in keeping on what he said publicly on Facebook that are still on his Facebook page. Mark Robinson is absolutely unfit to be the governor of North Carolina. And that was true before your story broke last Thursday. The story has only served to underline and put an exclamation point on the fact. Y'all want to see something that's going to give you a good laugh? If y'all thought that was something about him not being able to go to do this fundraiser in Chicago, I want y'all to put some laughing emojis in the chat because y'all are going to laugh at this next post. Just to set the tone of what you're about to see. But before we do that, shout out to Black Free Thinker for the 5. He says, I feel nothing for the bloated raccoon. None of us do, but appreciate the super
When you're
chat.
successful, you got new friends like Benjamin, Ulysses, and my favorite, Woodrow.
Look at what this says right here, and this came out today. This story right here came out today, just a few hours ago. North Carolina Robinson omitted from Trump rally, avoids comment on report about online posts. He's out of there. So the guy that once endorsed him called him Dr. King on steroids, which I don't know from what part of the crevice he pulled that from, has now been omitted from a Trump rally. Let's see what they're talking about. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson avoided directly weighing in during a gubernatorial campaign event on Saturday on a CNN report outlining evidence that he made disturbing posts on a website message board more than a decade ago. And Robinson, a Republican who normally functions as one of Donald Trump's top surrogates, or as one of Donald Trump's top kiss asses in battleground North Carolina, was not mentioned by the former president and current presidential candidate during a Saturday speech elsewhere in the state that lasted just over an hour. Mark Robinson, just that fast, 45 has forgotten you. You have become a distant memory. We're going to focus on the issues that you were concerned with, Robinson said. While everybody wants to focus on the garbage and the trash that tries to besmirch people, we're out here telling people about what we want to do, how we want to partner with you to make the state better and help North Carolina be better. He says he directed his focus on other issues Saturday, and he says we're going to work our butts off to make sure that we build an economy in this state that works for everybody. His appearance Saturday came the same day Trump held a presidential campaign event in Wilmington. Trump's campaign has appeared to distance itself from Robinson in the wake of the CNN reporting. But wait a minute. I got a question for y'all, and I don't know, this just popped up in my head. Doesn't usually the GOP tend to think that CNN would be considered liberal, left-leaning news, or they would deem it as fake news? But it was CNN that broke this story. Now, if this is fake news, like many of them would like to put out there, why are they distancing themselves from Mark Robinson? Shouldn't they be believing him? If they're distancing themselves from him based on what they consider the left to do, then why did they not mention Mark Robinson, let alone have him there at the event? Sounds to me like they believe what they saw, just like everybody else. Just saying. Things that make you go, exactly, Shamika. Let's continue. They says Trump's campaign has appeared to distance itself from Robinson in the wake of the CNN reporting, which the AP has not independently verified, saying in a statement that Trump is focused on winning the White House and saving this country and calling North Carolina a vital part of that plan without mentioning Robinson. Robinson has been a frequent president at Trump's North Carolina campaign stops. The Republican presidential nominee has referred to Robinson, who was black, as the Martin Luther King on steroids and has long praised him. Already before CNN's report, Robinson was trailing in several recent polls to Democratic nominee Josh Stein, the state's attorney general. Robinson has vowed to remain in the race, and that will be his greatest undoing. Stein said on Sunday on CNN State of the Union that Robinson is utterly unqualified, unfit to be the governor of North Carolina, and we're going to do everything in our power to keep that from happening. And I don't have to read anything else. It's just a rehashing. Man, yeah. Mark Robinson, you're done out here. You're done. Just come to that conclusion that you are done out here in these political streets. No one's going to miss you. It is what it is. But if y'all are in the Discord, I have dropped the link. So if anybody would like to come up and for a couple of minutes about the topic at hand, and I know y'all have some very interesting opinions about what you have heard and stuff that's just completely mind-blowing, be sure to do that. I have a feeling that Wallow J is going to see it first, and I called it right on the money because I didn't even finish saying his name, and his name popped up right there at the bottom of the screen. What's going on?
Leave me alone. You already knew I was gonna be first. I ain't had to tell you last night I was gonna be first on this jackass right here. Man, that and people, I want y'all to understand, it's a lot of stuff that Torian didn't tell y'all that he could have went over about this dude. And you also just missed the update that 4 of his staffers just left today. Yeah, they don't want to be around him.
Yeah, so the sun is dimming on him.
Yeah, he is going to get his Negro wake up call. Well, he's already getting it, but on the 5th, his Negro wake up call is going to be so much beautiful because after the 5th, he's going to be done with politics because they're going to want nothing to do with your black ass, your black, fat, sorry son of a bitch looking ass. I said it. You're fat, you're a waste of space, you're a disgrace to the black community. Well, you're not a part of our community, so you're a disgrace of black skin, sir. You're just a disgrace. I don't know how your wife sleeps with you at night. They probably sleep in separate beds. But
she's a froster, so I think she knows how to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sleep next to that fat bastard neither. See, now, if I could actually go find me some pictures of his kids, because he does have kids, I want to see what they look like. I can't find pictures of his kids, just his grandkids. Don't know why. Oh. I was trying to do it the whole string.
Maybe his kids are smart and they don't want to be anyone near him. Like they don't want to be affiliated with him.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good damn thing. Cause God know, I'm like, damn, where these damn little rascals at? Can't find these rascals no damn well. Damn, they good. They smart. I ain't mad at them. But yeah, you have to be a dummy to use the same exact username everywhere, and then think people like, oh, that ain't you, and then you got your picture right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That CNN article was very telling. Like that, I think when I was looking at it, they said it was like a 9-minute article because I had to stop and do stuff. So like that was like, it took me like 15 minutes to get through that. That was a lot. That was a lot of information right there. And the fact that he wants to stay in even after all of that has come out and all of it is true. Like this is nothing that is alleged. Like that, like they literally pulled all of that up. And all of it links back to him because they said it's that same username, the same email address that you were still using.
right.
Like it's you.
Like you can't make this stuff up. Like the reason why he can't drop out, because if he drops out, then the allegations is true. Also, if everybody knows, North Carolina's a battleground state. We've had the last couple elections we've had Democratic on governors. They've been trying to get a Republican governor since Pat McCrory got knocked out after his first term. They've been trying to get someone in there. He ain't gonna be it, number one. But if he he's basically almost handed the Democrats not just the governorship, but you don't mess up, and probably you. I'm not just not a guarantee. You can hand the Democrats the state for the presidency. Something that you're messing up right now. Because if that happens, they coming back for your big fat sorry butter biscuit looking having ass son of a bitch. They coming for you. We ain't gonna hear from your ass no more. But let me get off. Pause. Leave me alone. Kid, leave me the hell alone. I'm gonna go ahead and drop off. Bye.
I appreciate you coming up, Wallow J. If anybody else would like to come up, please go ahead and hit the link. Like I said, I put it in the Discord. Musa Blue says Mark Robinson, the Herschel Walker of North Carolina. I think he might have Herschel Walker beat by a few miles. Herschel Walker was nowhere near this bad, not even close. Herschel Walker was just a bumbling buffoon. This dude right here, he's practically on an island by himself. And I can't believe I'm actually saying it, but he makes Herschel Walker look like he's on cold. But yeah, like I said, y'all can go back and look at the archives. I've talked about Mark Robinson before in the past. So when I saw all of this stuff came out, when he was saying the stuff that he was saying, I wasn't surprised because I've heard him say this kind of rhetoric before. I've heard it come out of his mouth. I don't know where that mindset comes from, but yeah. And somebody did leave a comment. I just saw it, but I didn't get a chance to acknowledge it. Yes, I have heard about what has gone on and what is going on with Michael Eric Dyson. Now, that's another clown right there. You up there sitting up there talking about what black men need to do, and black men need to love and honor and respect black women, and we need to bow down and kiss the ring. Meanwhile, you bow down and kowtowing to this PC woman, and she exposed you on the Senate floor while you're married. I'm trying to debate whether or not I want to make that a video or do that as a live stream. I need to find time because because I have live streams lined up between now and through Wednesday, and his isn't in there. But if I do decide to talk about it, y'all will see it. If not, it is what it is. But yeah, he's another clown who's been on our bad side for a while now. So I don't feel bad for him either. Exactly, Black Free thing. A right wing PC woman at that. Denise said Jason Black did a live on Saturday. I need to go look at the playback. Jay, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? How's everybody doing? How you doing, Tori?
Doing good.
Man, so this is a very interesting story because I've been hearing buzz about it, but I never really looked into it. So it's
Hmm.
good to hear you cover the story and all that the shenanigans that he got into.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not surprised by it because usually there's something hidden in these people's closet. In his closet, I guess there's a trance, and they're doing sexual things for his pleasure. So
Hmm.
I'm not surprised by that, man. And just to think that he was once in a video store where they sold X-rated material. I mean,
Hmm.
have you seen the size of this guy? You're not gonna miss
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I mean, he's hard to miss.
Bro. Wallow J asked where's his kids at, and I was like, man, you probably just need to check your local McDonald's, man. You probably gonna see them gouging just like their father, man. So, I mean, but it's not surprising to see this. You see this happen with these coonarians on both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats. You
Yeah.
just mentioned Michael Eric Dyson. Uh, this guy,
And it's so
uh,
crazy too because the thing that's making me want to do a video or a live about him is because, and I don't know, I don't think I bookmarked it, but I don't think I wouldn't have a problem finding it if I go on X because that's where I saw it. When he was on there trying to explain about the text messages or whatever, he was up there
mhm,
bucking his eyes. Then I'm like, do you never stop doing that? I mean, he bucks his eyes when he talking down on us, and when you trying to explain away what you clearly did.
facts. Yeah, he's trying to explain because his audience is, I think, I want to say mainly black women, but now and but after what he did to his wife, the dude was telling Tariq Nasheed when they did the interview, what he did to his wife, what his wife was a Trump supporter, he threatened to divorce her. I mean,
Mhm.
after what he did to his wife, he doesn't respect black women. He pretends to respect them in order to get an audience because I don't think there's a bunch of men listening to Michael Eric Dyson, and I think he tries to be. There's these people like Derek Jackson. They'll try to say all these fumbling words just to try to manipulate women into watching them. But he's another tragedy right there. I mean, you got these people that they always got something in their closet, man. So, and going back to this guy, so I don't know if he's up in the polls or not. Is he up in the
He's
polls?
he's not. He's not.
So he's down in the polls. He might.
Mhm.
I think this is a win for the Republicans, just because. And I'm gonna leave it at this because if you're not gonna lose the white vote by getting rid of him, and you might actually gain some black supporters by getting rid of him at the same time because black people don't like him. I was once in a Twitter space, and they were actually saying they dislike and they enjoyed the Twitter space just because the people that act like Candace Owens and those people, just like this guy right here, they weren't in there. And I think you'll be able to actually gain support from black people by getting rid and just letting the bus run over this fat clown right here.
Mhm. Well, I forgot. I should have asked Wallow J when he was up there, and actually Wallow was actually still in the chat, so he could probably confirm it for me. But it's somebody who I guess was supposed to like step down from their position. I think step down from being governor, but they chose to stay in because if they did, that would have installed Mark Robinson as governor. And he's like, oh no, I can't run the risk of leaving knowing that he's going to take that spot by default. So this person is just sitting there hoping that this
Yes.
guy just loses so he can leave and the other person who the new governor will be put in.
Mm.
That's how bad Mark Robinson is.
It's good, man. I mean, but just look at him, dude. He's a puppet. There's no way that he's actually functionally thinking for himself. He just comes out here and say all this crazy nonsense, and I guess he gets enough racist people to vote for him, and simpleton black people who are conservatives to vote for him, and whatever other conservatives there are, and Hispanics and Asian, whatever. But you don't want somebody like that. That's that ill-minded leading a state. You know, people like him, people like Gavin Newsom, they shouldn't be leading states, man. Like Gavin Newsom is a little bit more neat with his nonsense. This guy, he's just all over the floor, man. I remember when he first came out. This guy was when he first came out. I believe that was his speech he gave about either guns or trans and racial. I think it was guns. He first came out talking about if you're gonna take my gun and the criminal's gonna have a gun, and he did it. I think this is before he even ran. When he was like and he was just and you can notice him because he was up there at the speaker podium. His stomach was damn near like knocking over the stand and everything, and he was just yelling, and it was ridiculous, man. He's like almost like a taller Roland Martin with no hair, almost. But that's all I want to say, man. I'm gonna
All right,
let you go.
appreciate you doing it. All right, so Wallow J said it was Roy Cooper, the current governor, and shout out to Dr. Lauren. They said Governor Roy Cooper decided not to accept Kamala's VP offer because of Mark Robinson. It's a North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper is a Democrat, Robinson is a Republican. Lieutenant Governor split. Okay, so that's what I knew, but I couldn't think of what it was. All I knew was that it was somebody that could have left, but he decided not to because he didn't want Mark Robinson to take that spot. That, I guess, again, like I said, that's how horrible Mark Robinson is. All right, next person I got up here is Samuel. What's going on?
Hey Torian, what's going on? B1, man.
B1.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, and Torian, I live in North Carolina, and I'm really not worried about Mark Robinson because after all this stuff that came out, he really started kind of going down in the polls. So, and nobody really takes him serious.
Yeah.
Not on the Republican side, the Democrat side. So, I just feel like this is a wake up call for the conservative party to be like, you know what, if we want to get more melanated people and more people of ethnicity, we don't need like the Mark Robinsons, we don't need the Candace Owens, Tatum, we don't need the Amber Rose, these type of people,
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not worried about that guy. Nobody's not taking him serious. If anything, Mark Robinson needs to be worrying about his tax problems that he's going with right now. Because if you do your research, Tori, you will find out they're saying that Mark Robinson is at least like in debt to federal taxes of like in the six figures because of all those daycares that he ended up opening down here.
I heard about that, and isn't that? And I know you probably heard me throughout the live talking about his wife. Isn't his wife caught up in that too?
Yes, she is, because she forged a lot of documentations too, and I think his wife may be looking at some type of jail time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and not only that, a lot of those parents or those children that were in their daycare, they're all like going in on like separate civil suits because you had kids that were living in, that were not living in, but that were being under care of like asbestos exposure and things like that. And Mark Robinson was forging like documentation that's saying everything was up to code. So I'm I'm not worried about that guy. Yeah, and also, Torian, a little bit off the subject. Did you hear about? You actually did a bed bunking about this guy before, and I talked to you about him about Corey Yeshua.
Yes, is that the guy with the daughter?
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard Torian that he had to go start a GoFundMe because PragerU isn't paying for his medical and hospital expenses because he just revealed that he has Crohn's disease and this and that. And he started a GoFundMe trying to raise like 100,000. And then people were like, well, hold on. Aren't you supposed to be like a PragerU employee and a conservative funded and you don't have the resources to pay your own medical expenses? Don't they even offer you a health insurance? What's up? Aren't conservatives supposed to be like, money savvy?
I told people that any black person that is connected to PragerU, because I forgot all about him until you mentioned his name, but I knew it was the guy with the daughter. I said any black person that is connected to PragerU is not to be trusted. And now that you brought that up, I do not feel bad for this dude. Because now all of the stuff that I remember him saying is starting to come back to me vaguely. And it was very, very off code.
Right. And Tori, and I was like, okay, well, where is Brandon Tatum? Where is the Candace Owens, the Craig Long? None of them actually even gave him even kicked in for his for his GoFundMe or even brought it up. And I can even I think I even said that to I can remember Maj Toure because now he's becoming a full blown Trump supporter, MAGA want to be pundit now, and he just said, oh, he doesn't know anything about that and this and that. So I'm like, and that just shows you how they are towards each other. They try to act like they're all about family and community, but yeah. Now, what were you saying, Torian? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was agreeing with you. Like, yeah, not like I said, the infighting is real. The only time they really click up like that is when they're coming at us. But besides that, there is so much infighting over there. It's ridiculous. Like, imagine if you was a fly on the wall just listening in on some of their conversations. I'm talking about they are fighting like cats and dogs over there.
Right. And like I said, it just shows you how they are. I mean, like I said, with him trying to get money for his hospital expenses because he has Crohn's disease, and he like, yeah, I can't work, and they're not paying me for this and that, and then not only that, I don't know if you remember Bevelyn Beatty. She was that one conservative chick that was going around vandalizing the black BLM murals and stuff like that. This and that. She just got sentenced to 4 years, but I think she was trying to like stop like people going into like Planned Parenthood appointments, and she punched a police officer, and she ended up doing a plea deal where she was initially going to get 15 years because she had a previous criminal record, so she pleaded for like 4 years, and now she got sentenced to 4 years, so she's praying that Donald Trump gets back in office because she's saying that hopefully he'll get her either exonerated or what's the word what's the other thing where you just get somebody out of prison,
What's that again?
where she got sentenced to 4 years and she's hoping Donald Trump gets back in office so
A pardon.
yes, she's hoping that she gets a pardon and things like that. So, and then nobody still has, like, they were hyping her up when she was going around vandalizing BLM murals and stuff like that. But now they don't even talk about her. And she's trying to bash him, saying, well, I was doing all of this, and, not one person has reached out to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, Torian, I mean, me personally, I'm more of a moderate. I am somewhat left leaning, but I'm an independent. But it just shows you that, if they're constantly telling us that get off the Democratic plantation, why would I want to go to the Republican plantation? It seems like it looks way worse than it is over there than, being on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but. It's always a pleasure hearing you, Torian. And, I just want to say thank you for letting me comment and, give my 2 cents. And I'm going to let the next person go in.
Okay. Thanks for coming up.
All right. Thank
you. All right. Next up, we got Scoop. What's going on?
What up, Torian? What up? What up, chat? Man, my son's birthday today, 18. He the last one.
Happy birthday to your son.
Yeah, man. These people something else. You know what? I can believe this about this big old chump. He seemed like something wrong with him. Even when I first seen him, I said something ain't right about dude. You know what I'm saying? And then to hear he's like some kind of creepy peeping Tom, and oh my God, this is what we got for representation. I mean, I ain't in North Carolina. We ain't no better out here with Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass and all these other fools. But as far as representation, these people don't speak for us. They always speak for the ones that's willing to sell us out and get that bag because they want to look good. You're like, can we ever once have somebody like an Eric Mays or somebody up in there that's gonna get down with it and represent us as black people and do something for us as black people, no matter how much PC get mad? Because when PC do something for PC, they don't care how we feel. They never have. And I'm like, this dude, and I'm like, and then I seen the other day with Eric Dyson, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, so he got exposed, but you up here caping, talking about how much you love our people and black woman this, and she got Kamala's name wrong, but you on the back end creeping with Becky, trying to get her, you know what I'm saying, to mess with you, man. That just tells you these people full of you know what. They can't be trusted. They can't be. They like a damn Steven on the plantation. Oh, Massa, them Negroes gonna run away tomorrow. What you want me to do? You want me to stop them? It's like, come on, man. Man, you know what? This is why we fighting so hard. This is why. We fighting against them, but we fighting also against our own. The same ones that's willing to sell us out. I'm like, what do you think? The plantation finna be greater for you than it is for us? They don't like you either. It don't matter how much you sell out to them. They don't like you just like they don't like us. That's why I'm like, I'm an independent. Forget a Republican, forget a Democrat. So I think you said, Torian, that you went and became independent.
Yep, last year. Been an independent for about a year now.
I'm right with you. I'm fresh, but I'm right with you, man. I you know what? These people, man. It's like, the funny thing is, I notice one thing they do. They stay away from us.
Mm.
They don't come around us with all that mess and talking points because they know they're going to get exposed. They go right over there with people that are just like them or PC that they can cape to and make feel good that they going to, I guess, keep us in line or keep us under control. It's like, come on, man. It's like, don't represent us. Keep our name out your mouth. Tell what you really about because you ain't for us, period. But that's all I want to come up and say, Torian, man. You have a good one, brother.
You too. Shout out to Scoop for coming up. And next up, we got, it says Kid Rock, but I'm assuming it's Kid Gravity. I'm not entirely sure. What's going on?
Torian. Never
mind. I thought it was my bad. I thought it was Kid Gravity.
I just wanted to say that I've been following him with his old freaky dicky ass. And what really got me is that when them people at that porn store came out and said that he been watching porn.
Mm-hmm.
And that I was like, that's very interesting. It's very interesting since he want to be all up in people's business and be judging people. And I wonder what Donald Trump would want with his ass. Because you know that he was all in it with old Herschel. And
he just uses like people like Mark Robinson as another pawn. That's basically what it is. I always say that people like that, they always use them as a shield, so to speak, to put in place to make it seem like they're not what we already knew that they were. And they always usually pick some of the most craziest people to do it, like Mark Robinson of all people. Kind of remind me of the time when he was trying to get Tim Scott to go and talk to black people or do like a black outreach to try to get black people to vote for him or support him. And I'm like, why would you choose Tim Scott of all people, someone who a lot of black people do not mess with anyway? And you can ask anybody in South Carolina, a black person in particular, about Tim Scott in South Carolina, and they'll all tell you they don't rock with Tim Scott. So why would you choose Tim Scott? But see, the thing is, they don't talk to any grassroots black people. They only talk to the bootlegs, and that's where the disconnect comes in.
I don't call them bootlegs. I call them ass kisses, because they sure do be kissing that ass a lot.
Yeah.
I've never rocked with the Republicans, and I sure in the hell don't rock with the Democrats either. I'm gonna be truthful with you. I did vote for Biden, and that was my first time voting. And I don't think that I'm voting. I'm ever gonna vote again, because this don't make no sense.
Yeah, I said this election cycle is one big clown show, and it is. That all is missing is, the actual tent and all of that, but it's a traveling circus. That's literally what this is. But that's politics for you.
Yeah, on one hand, we got Kamala but I call her. You want to hear my nickname for Kamala?
I'll take your word for it. Don't say it.
But I'm not gonna say it because it has an expletive. But
Yes.
but I have to tell you that debate was funny when she got him to start talking about the cats and the dogs. I was like, well. But I'm gonna land my plane there and let the next person come up.
All right, thanks for coming up. All right, the last person we got up here is Miss Nisi. She said she wanted to be last.
Good evening, Torian. Good evening, family in the chat. In summary, this political cycle has been nothing but a shit show.
Mm-hmm. That's literally that's literally your slogan right there. Anytime we talk about anything involving politics, that's the first thing you lead with.
Exactly. We, as a people, don't matter who the winner is. FBA, we all we got. This country is, excuse my French, fucked. Period. That's all I gotta say.
Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Miss Nisi for coming up. Glad that you were able to come up and speak. And shout out to everybody that came up to speak, but the lines are now officially closed. Miss Nisi was the last person to speak. Shout out to everybody that came through. And even shout out to the people that subscribed. I know a few people subscribed, but I didn't get a chance to acknowledge you. Shout out to everybody that came through on this stream this evening. Shout out to everybody that contributed or, renewed them, still remain a member. Wallow J, Just Act Sharp, Panther Strike, and Black Free Thinker. Shout out to all of the mods. Shout out to the replay game. Everybody who's a member, everyone on Patreon, everyone on X, Discord, Instagram. I had quite a few people join Discord in the last hour, but we are about to shut it down. We will be back on here tomorrow. I have of course, the 12 p.m. or the 12:10 p.m. premiere coming tomorrow. And also tomorrow, I will be doing a live at 6 p.m. about the whole Janet Jackson situation. Man, that right there, that's going to be one way to kick the week off. So in case y'all ain't heard about it, y'all will find out the details about it tomorrow. You'll probably find out about what happened by the time I go live tomorrow. But with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's go into the work week with positivity and good vibes. Be safe and be one.